Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Ham Nation is provided by CashFly at CACHEFLY.com.
This episode of Ham Nation is brought to you by ICOM. For more information, visit ICOMAmerica.com/HamNation. By DX Engineering. DX Engineering offers practically everything you need to outfit your shack, plus the fastest shipping in the industry. In-stock items ship the same day, Monday through Friday until 10 p.m. Eastern. For more information, visit dxengineering.com/HamNation. And by Ting.com. Ting is a mobile phone service that helps you save money by offering a fair price for the services you use. Visit hamnation.ting.com to get $25 towards your first device or service and to find out how much you can save. This is Ham Nation, episode number 225, December 2nd, 2015. The Palmyra DXpedition.
Hi, everybody. It's K9EID and a whole bunch of really cool people here on Ham Nation. You're tuned in to a great show. Call all of your ham buddies. They don't even have to be ham buddies. Call everybody because we have a lot of fun here. And it is about ham radio, but some of it we kind of trail off to the other side once in a while and get some things happening. We have Valerie with us. Valerie, how are you? You and Jerry doing good?
We're doing great. Had a really good Thanksgiving. I went to Nashville. Jerry stayed behind while our good friend operated CQ Worldwide from our place. He actually did 20 meters only and worked 159 countries on just 20 meters from our place this weekend. So we're doing good.
Wowie zowie. Okay. And Gordo, how are you doing down there? How's the weather? You okay?
Yeah, weather's okay, and congratulations to Skywarn volunteers. This is your week. We salute Skywarn. Back to you, Bob.
Hey, okay. We'll come back to you in just a minute. And we're going to take a really cool trip in just a couple of minutes. Go up and meet Craig, who is the contest station of the country, I think. So Valerie's got some really good stuff on that. So hang in here, buddies. We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. I get so many emails when I'm gone. But I'm gone because somebody hollered at me and said, we need you. Otherwise, I'd be here with you guys. I have to tell you, I've had a really couple of good weeks. We've been out getting Michael McDonald ready to go. I did a couple of pictures. Have you got those, Brian? Did I get those to you? Yeah, there's Michael. This was in a rehearsal at the Fox Theater, my beloved Fox Theater, where it started two of my careers. That was wonderful there. We had, they've always had problems with his concertina. Not anymore. We put a PR30 on it, and it was over. Look at this gorgeous theater. If you've never seen one of the Foxes, I show this to you because, yeah, it's not ham radio related, but many of you know my background. I started my career. I lived in that place for 10 years. It's just gorgeous. 5,000 seats now, and the monster Wurlitzer pipe organ that I spent so many hours on, and where I learned to listen. It's so important. And behind those big red marble columns are about 3,000 pipes on that side and 3,000 on the other. But I just thought I'd show you a couple of things because a lot of people ask me where it is. There it is. And that's the monitor console on stage for Michael. And got him going with, got rid of all these old microphones. What was interesting is at the end of sound check, they needed a couple of more microphones. So we rushed back over here. We're about, 40 minutes from the Fox and rushed back over here. I didn't have anything that I wanted him to have. We were just, we have just been so busy. We are blessed, let me tell you. But we needed a couple of special PR35s for him and didn't have them. So I built them for him. That was about 20 after 8. The clock showed the concert had started at 8, but we didn't use them that night. That was for the next night. And now they're out on tour. So check the schedules. And if Michael's in your town, go see him. He's really incredible. He used to come to my music shop when he was just a youngster in high school. He's from the St. Louis area, so we've had a lot of good memories together. So enough of all that nonsense, I guess, but we're happy to be here, and I'm back soldering. We had a huge week here at Heil Sound. You can see behind me just boxes. Well, one part of it here, but it's just it gets crazy here, especially now. Here, I'll show you a couple of other things. This is 2 days of production, and this is the kind of things that are happening here, and we're very, very fortunate and blessed that we can keep it all together. It's been a Pro 7 week, I got to tell you that. So I've been soldering, and I learned that from George, I'm going to tell you. So, Gordo, I want to see what's going on. Did you go to the beach for Thanksgiving? We had a great Thanksgiving, Sarah and I. We just had a really quiet one down in the Ozarks. What'd you guys do? I bet you went to the beach, didn't you?
We did, and in just a moment, we'll give you a quick tour of our operating station, and we filled up an entire several pages of logbook. But, you know, Bob, you talk about microphones. Let me tell you, this microphone setup, the HTH, really works well. And it works well in working the new satellite, the new Fox 1A. And for those of you that have not operated Fox 1A, you'll find that you can hear it easily, but you really need a lot more power than just a couple of watts to get into it. If you got a 5-watt handheld, look at this. This is one of my venerable ICOM 5-watt full duplex handhelds to an Arrow antenna or to an elk antenna, you'll do just fine. But you want to have the headset plugged in, and then you won't get feedback. And we encourage all of you to try SO50 and the new Fox 1A, and that is AO85, and enjoy those satellites brought to you by AMSAT. And if you need more information about working satellites, it is easy, and Clint Bradford, K6LCS, will give you all of the information. I'll give you his webpage in just a few moments. This weekend, in Oklahoma, the Batfish submarine will be on the air, WW2 sub, S-U-B. And Oklahoma, the USS Oklahoma will be on the air, WW2 OK, as well as other museum battleships throughout the country. So with December 7th coming up on Monday, we hope all of you will have an opportunity this weekend of working some of these great ships that protect our country. Now, out of our country, Whiskey 7 Papa. That is Pluto, the year of the Pluto Amateur Radio Special Event Station. They're going to be on for a couple of weeks starting this weekend, and we hope all of you will have an opportunity to work Pluto and make some contacts out of the Arizona stations that will be well representing the Pluto expedition. And we just encourage everybody to tune around and listen for W7P. Finally, for those that have a new radio that you're getting for the holidays, or if you're thinking of giving someone a gift for the holidays, I really like the Nifty Guides. They do such a nice job of making complicated radios more easy to understand. Well, it was easy to understand this, and Brian, go ahead and roll it. And what it was this past weekend, and there's our setup on the beach, and thanks to Chip and Janet, K7JA, KL7MA, MF, we were on the air A+ with Chip's 3-element homebrew beam on 10 meters. The weather was, as you can see, great. We could just kick back. The beam was up there. We had a small antenna for 2 meters, but most important was the chow. You got to have chow at the holiday season. And you have to have a sunset at the holiday season. So for all those of you that we worked on 10 meters, single sideband, 28405, we got about 3.5 pages of logs. We hope that you'll enjoy the QSL card that I plan to spatter with a little bit of what's left over with the turkey. And this turkey, when we cut into it, was marvelous. So thanks to Chip and Janet for getting us on the air. There's all our gear. It was solar powered. The beam was up about 22 feet. As you can see, we're chopping away at the turkey. And it's a lot of fun. So happy Thanksgiving, a couple of days late for those of you that enjoy playing radio. And there's Chip as well as Joy, K6JOY, that is operating as well. So thanks, kids, for a great turkey on the beach. And as you can see, that's the way we roasted it, and that's the fun we had. All right, Clint says go to his webpage, www.work-sat.com. work-sat.com. He's got all the details on how to work the new Fox 1A satellite. Just remember, it's UHF up, VHF down, whereas SO50, it is VHF up and UHF down. Both require the 67 hertz CTCSS. So I hope to hear you on the air this weekend, as we'll be working the USS Batfish, WW2 sub, as well as Oklahoma, WW2OK, the Oklahoma Amateur Radio Club. Thanks so much, Mitch, KE5HWW, for putting this all together. So that's the news at this end. So now let's take a look and explore ICOM America with my venerable ICOM and see what ICOM has for us.
Enjoy the holiday season with an ICOM portable. Nothing spreads holiday cheer like ICOM's colorful ID51A Plus D-Star Dual Bander, available in classic black, sunset orange, passion pink, ultraviolet, or lime yellow. Near me repeater function for D-Star as well as analog repeaters. Free downloadable RSMS-1A Android app and integrated GPS. For the ham on the go, the UHF D-Star ID31A has so many features to enjoy. Built-in GPS, compact and lightweight with waterproof construction, and micro SD card slot. Want to give the gift of classic 2-meter 70-centimeter operation? Try the ICT70A HD. Easy to program with simple keypad. It has a large backlit alphanumeric display. Here's 700 milliwatts of loud and clear audio, and the HD version includes the radio, lithium-ion battery pack, and rapid charger for up to 19 hours of operation. For a versatile high-power handheld, choose ICOM's ICV80A HD Sport. It has a built-in BTL amplifier which helps deliver 750 milliwatts of loud audio, great for noisy environments, and like the T70A, the HD version includes the radio, lithium-ion battery pack, and rapid charger. The V80 Sport also comes with an alkaline tray that holds 6 AA batteries. Visit ICOMAmerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM's mobile radio selection. Happy holidays. I want to give away something. You know, I'm in the Christmas spirit. I've been conversing with Santa Claus and the folks at ICOM. And, you know, they have a contest where you can register at ICOMAmerica.com/hamnation after each episode. And they give away some great swag prizes, but they also give away a radio every month. And for November, it was the ICOM ID 5100A. 2-meter, 70-centimeter transceiver with touchscreen, GPS, D-Star, analog and DV automatic repeater list up, optional Bluetooth unit, just a whole lot of stuff. Probably the nicest mobile dual bander out there. We've got a winner for that. It's Carl K. N9IBN. So congratulations, Carl. I know you're really going to enjoy that. And they've got another great radio that they're going to give away for Christmas, and this one would be perfect for Operation from the Sleigh, and that is the ICOM ID51A Plus dual band dual watch handheld. It's got D-Star, internal GPS, analog and D-Star near repeater functions, enhanced DPRS, a free downloadable Android app. It's IPX7 waterproof construction, and just a whole lot more. This one is the ID51A 50th Anniversary Edition, but the 51A Plus, I guess the colors did so well that the 51A Plus is available in different colors, so you can choose your favorite. But somebody's going to win one of these, not mine. I'm keeping this one, but somebody's going to win one of those in December. So go to icomamerica.com/hamnation. Register to win. There's why wouldn't you?
Okay. Well, thanks for that. And yes, I have more modern ICOMs to work the satellites. As you can see here, I've exhausted their batteries, needing a recharge, having so much fun this past weekend working a few satellites. And congratulations to Ray Novak. Ray was the recipient of a prestigious Radio Club of America award. Ray, a fellow of Radio America. Congratulations, Ray, for all your hard work and support for ham radio. Okay, Bob, I think I'll turn it back to you, and then I'll let you guide us to our next guest.
All right, good stuff, and congrats to Ray. We miss him here, and I know he's really busy in his new position there, but that's quite an award. Both Gordon and I, Carol Perry, and let's see, last year was Tim Duffy, and we're very happy to be a part of that. Very honorable to become a member of that. So very good for you, Ray. But come back and see us again here. Well, we're going to go learn a lot about contesting, because you got two really good contesters to tell us all about it. Here we go, everybody. Get ready. Valerie, take it away.
Hey, everybody. NV9L, Valerie. Well, I do have a great guest with me tonight. I have Craig Thompson, K9CT, and he was licensed back in 1967. He holds an extra class license. Graduated from Bradley University back in 1974 with his BS in Electronic Engineering Technology. Plus, he did some graduate work in business and communications, and there he is operating from the College Station.
Whoa.
Love the curtains. He's also an avid contester and DXer. He's actually operating from Navassa right there inside the lighthouse. He has been on 8 DXpeditions and co-led 3 of them. He is also the co-leader of the upcoming DXpedition to Palmyra Island, which is next month. And that's number 9 on Club Log's Most Wanted right now. He lives near us. He's about 2 hours south and west of us in Peoria. And he has a small farm real close to his home QTH, where he has a super station, a contest station. He's also president of Thompson Electronics, and he's an avid runner. He's ran in 7 marathons. Craig, you're a busy guy.
Well, thanks. Good evening. Sounds, I guess, pretty busy. Maybe I ought to slow down a little bit.
You are. I even skipped out a lot of the highlights. I mean, you have a lot of, the DX Honor Roll and the DX Challenge. I mean, and you're pretty much contesting almost every weekend. And when you don't, it seems like you're running. But how'd you actually get started in amateur radio? Let's start there.
Well, of course, when most of the people my age were growing up, I think I was with technology and math and science as everybody. And I jumped right on that bandwagon. I enjoyed, of course, all of my relatives had old radios, and I used to sit and listen to the DX, the foreign broadcast stations, and I discovered ham radio by listening, and studied the code on my own, and found a lady in the neighboring village that was able to mentor me, and actually gave me my first ham radio test. And of course, when I went to Bradley, I kind of majored in ham radio. It didn't say that there, but that's where I really learned a lot about contesting and DXing, and I made a lot of great friends with ham radio operators that are still my friends to this day. And so that's where it kind of started.
All right, now, you have the Superstation. People can kind of see it in the background there. Let's talk about your contest station. Now, how many towers do you have at your contest station? And I think we have a slide for that, Brian.
Well, I had 11 towers, and I just added another one this year. When I first started, I wanted a station that I wanted enough room, to be able to spread it out to avoid interstation isolation. If you look in the back, this property runs north-south. It's rectangular, and at the far north is the 160 antenna. And actually, as you get closer, on the left, you'll see, on the far left, you'll see 2 200-foot towers, and those are the 40-meter stack and the 20-meter stack. And then the near stack is the 15-meter stack, and then next to the shack is a 10-meter stack, and then there's two-stepper DB42s that we use for multiplier antennas, and then there's VHF antennas and a moon bounce array to the right. And the tower that I just put up is to the left, and that's a monster that I had at my house that I moved over. That's a Monst-IR, and that actually helped quite a bit this year in the last couple of CQ Worldwide contests, working to the south. I also, because I can adjust the tower, I added it so it helped me with domestic contests. This is actually a picture right here of what the station looks like when we're doing multi-2, and actually that's Ryan KB9OWD from Wisconsin, KU5B from Texas, Houston, Texas. And I can't see all of the other, actually the one at the very end is a guest operator. He was the president of the Bradley Ham Club. We had him come out and try contesting. And here we are doing a contest, Ralph K9ZO is to his back. But you can kind of see what the station lineup is. It's all identical K3s and Alpha 87As and with filters and everything all lined up. So, and we try to make sure that this is actually the VHF and UHF portion of the station where you can sit and work from 6 to 1296, and then you'll see the Lunar Link amplifiers above them for high power. Then I also have an EME station that I'm actually sitting at right now as I talk to you. And you can see that we spent a lot of time making it ergonomically friendly, and you don't see the whole shack from those pictures, but there's a bunk room and there's a kitchen and a break room and an area where we can fix things and things like that. So when I'm here during the weekend working on the station, so there's always something to do here. Always looking forward to the next thing that might make a difference in a contest.
So I know you also, in addition to contesting, love to go on DXpeditions. You've been on 8 so far, it looks like, and you've co-led 3. And here's a slide. I think I have a slide of all your DXpeditions, and if they have the gold star, they won DXpedition of the year. So it looks like you've got a nice resume of DXpeditions, but let's talk about the big one coming up, Palmyra, Kilo 5 Palmyra. Now you're co-leading that one, right?
I think the second we left Wake Island, he was already working on this particular DXpedition. Actually, there's several people that were team members on the Wake Island, the K9W DXpedition, that have come forward with opportunities. And Lou had been working on going to Palmyra, and actually another one that I think that we're going to be able to go to as well in the near future. And this one became available immediately after Navassa. In fact, we found out we could go while we were on Navassa Island. Both Lou and I were on Navassa, and we knew we had a very narrow window to get everything there because, as I always say, they're rare for a reason, and there's not very much transportation to get to Palmyra. They had a barge leaving less than 5 or 6 weeks after we were back from Navassa, so we hurried up and we got all the antennas, all the coax, all of the heavy things, and we got it to Honolulu, and Chemo, K7U, got everything and got it on the barge for us, and it's already on Palmyra Island. And right now, actually, I'm preparing all of the computers and the Elecraft K3s, the KPA 500s, all of that stuff is right outside here, and I'm setting that up. That's a cool picture. We've got a small area to operate. It's right down there. You can actually see where we're going to be. And we're only allowed to be in one area. And of course, you can understand the restrictions with Fish and Wildlife. The Nature Conservancy actually owns the one island called Collins Island. And you can see the runway that we're allowed to land on. That is actually a U.S. Navy airstrip from World War II time frame. And they've had a hard time keeping it clear. But we're there. In fact, the runway is no longer certified, and they're allowing only 2 type of aircraft onto the island. So it's very restricted as to how to even get there. There's 5 residents there right now that are doing research and maintenance on the island that'll be hosting us. And there's our website. So if you'd like to help support the DXpedition, in fact, we've received tremendous support from all of the major foundations, the NCDX DXF, Indexa, and a lot of European foundations. The Japanese have supported us quite a bit. But this is a top 10 destination. You're welcome to go to the website and check it out. We'll be on all the bands. We're even taking a 6-meter antenna. We'll have a beacon running. And we'll be on both CW and a phone and radio teletype. So you have your choice and you can work us. We look forward to that.
Now, when are you hoping to be on the air? What date is the dream date?
Well, January 11th, we're supposed to arrive on the island. And then we'll be in a hurry to set up everything. We'll have to find all of the stuff that was shipped there, and we'll have to unpack it, get it all set up. We got stepper antennas. It'll be very much similar to what they just did at the Willis Island, where they set up quite a few steppers out on the front near the water. We also have a BCS, a Battle Creek Special, that we'll put up for 160 and 80 meters. And then we're taking a couple of high-powered amplifiers, some SPE 1.3 amplifiers that were just recently used on a couple of DXpeditions as well. So we should have good signals for everybody. Let's see propagation. Right now, with the sun the way it is, it's sometimes rather iffy, and we hope, fingers are crossed, that we'll have really good conditions in January. January is usually a pretty good month.
I know with the runway condition that was going on, you guys had to cut back on your operating list. So how many operators are going now?
Well, right now, we have 12 people on our team, but they have cut back the plane to us. This was just happened in the last 30 days to 9 people. We actually have a conference with them this week. Hopefully we can get it back up to 12. There is another type of plane that they can land with 12 people, and we're allowed 800 pounds of shipping, which would be the radios and the computers and that sort of thing, and our luggage. So we're really trying to get the 12, they called us about 30, 40 days ago and said, we can only get this one plane, and it's got 9 people on it. And of course, our proposal with them, they actually presented it to us, was that they were going to provide transportation for 12 people. So we're really disappointed, but I'm not surprised, I guess.
Well, and I know that cuts into the more operators you get, the more you can defray the cost of it, because these operators pay a lot to get in on the DXpedition. So how much is the total cost of this DXpedition?
Well, it runs right around $200,000. It could run as high as $220,000 with all the shipping costs that might be incurred, but we're hoping that we're on this side of that. Unfortunately, all of the costs have to be put in early or in front, because they wouldn't even take us. So this is one of those where you pay everything in advance, and every one of the operators has to pay their own transportation and their own stay. But they each put in $10,000 apiece, so that's $120,000. Over half the cost is just by the team alone. But we've received substantial support, and like I said, we certainly appreciate the early support, because we can pay our bills. We wouldn't be able to go, and I know that there's several other big DXpeditions, Heil Island and the VP8 group, that have the same issues. In fact, they have bigger issues. They have bigger costs, and all the support everybody can put together now while we still have DX propagation is a great thing as the sunspot cycle winds down.
And if people go to that Palmyra website, they can donate if they want to donate in advance. So,
absolutely.
And I think we're going to bring Bob in. He might have some questions for you. Bob, are you in there?
I am. Yes, I wanted to thank you personally for all that you have done for many years with all the different DXpeditions. But this Palmyra thing is going to be really great. And I know it's taken a lot of work and struggle to get it there, but I hope that you've made the goal of the money. That's always a big problem, and I would hope that all of the groups and so on would help you. We help all we can in providing microphones, headsets, and all that stuff. And I note that just about all of your DXpeditions have had our products, and I appreciate that personally. I wanted to tell you that.
Thank you, Bob. And it wouldn't be without your support that we could do these things. Radio communities, they're all almost monumental ventures to do these things anymore. But you'll notice, really, Bob, how many of the major, the very top 10 have been tackled in just the last couple of years. And the ham radio community has really made a dent in some very rare locations. Let's hope we can keep doing that.
Yeah, I applaud you and all of that. And Valerie, thanks for getting all this lined up. And I want you to take a video camera up there and do a contest with him and let us all see how it happens.
I want to get Craig back on again, and we want to go into more depth with your contest station, because I'm sure people would enjoy seeing that, especially when it's in action, when you're running a multi event. So definitely going to do that. Hopefully can have you back again, Craig. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you very much. I've enjoyed it.
All right. Take care and
Thanks,
have a
Craig.
safety expedition. And as far as DXing and contesting goes, this weekend is the 160 contest. So get out there and work that low band. And then the following weekend is the 10-meter contest. So those are two big contests coming up. As far as DX goes, I do have a couple of slides. We got Lord Howe Island going on right now. And that's just off to the east of Australia. And if you want to show the next slide, they're just going to be active for, 7 days. So if you need those guys, make sure you get on there and work them. A lot of other small DX, Multon, things like that. But you can always go to DX World, DX Coffee, subscribe to some DX reports, like Bernie's DX report, and you can get updated on this at any time. But a lot of DX, nothing as rare as what's been going on in the last month or what's coming up. January, February, and March, we got some really good most wanted DX coming up. So make sure you everything's in working order and you can get those countries. That's all I've got for this week. So I'm going to hand it off to Don. Don, did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did, Val. Thanks. Had a great Thanksgiving. Had a few days off, which is always nice. And in fact, I had 6 days of vacation left to burn this month. So I'm taking 3 starting tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and Monday. And then we'll work all the next week. And then the week after, I'm taking Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. So get some extra days off and really enjoying that. The DX expeditions sound like so much fun. And although not a DXpedition, but I will be working this weekend, the Skywarn Appreciation. So if you're on Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock Central, I'm scheduled, my slot is from 4 to 5 p.m., working W5SLA, Whiskey 5 Sierra Lima Alpha. That's from the National Weather Service New Orleans Forecast Office in Slidell, Louisiana, the Baton Rouge, New Orleans office. Whiskey 5 Sierra Lima Alpha. So be listening on the bands for me, and I'll be out there, and hopefully I'll talk to you. Let's take a look at some big news from DX Engineering, shall we? DX Engineering has acquired a new product. It's the InLogis Pixel Active Magnetic Loop Antenna. It's the most recent purchase that DX Engineering has made, and now they are the exclusive manufacturer of this extremely popular HF receive antenna, which means you can only get it at DX Engineering. The RF Pro 1B is an active magnetic loop antenna, high-performance 160 to 10-meter receive antenna, and it's been in use by the best hams for years. And now, of course, backed by DX Engineering, stringent manufacturing standards and excellent tech support. And I can attest to that. I've been up there. I've met the people, and the people are just as good as the products. And that's why the products are so good, is because of the people there at DX Engineering. And this active magnetic loop antenna gives you great receive coverage on all the HF bands. But unlike a big old beverage or other receive antenna, this one is about the size of a hula hoop. It means you can put it on a rotator. You can rotate it to enhance weak signals, null out RF, and unwelcome signals. Like if you got power line noise or a nearby broadcast station, you can null that out. Gives you up to 30 dB of rejection compared to a traditional whip antenna. So good stuff. Used to be made by Pixel. Now it's made by DX Engineering, the RF Pro 1B Active Magnetic Loop Antenna. Of course, service and upgrade parts available at DX Engineering. Also, they're now the exclusive manufacturer of the AF-HD4 AM/FM HD broadcast band antenna. If you get poor AM/FM broadcast reception where you live, then this antenna may be the solution. And if you're a broadcast DXer, oh man, the AF-HD4 is a purpose-built broadcast band and receive antenna specifically designed for vintage and high-quality radio receivers. Good option for fitting multiple receivers like in a retail store or a condo complex. In addition to better analog signal reception, you'll enjoy vastly improved HD receive, which means no more digital signal phasing issues or complete HD signal dropouts. And obviously, your receive capabilities depend on the broadcast station's transmit power and other fine print. But testing revealed omni receive ranges for FM up to 80 miles, AM about 90. It's a good antenna. And of course, this is from DX Engineering, the AF HD4. is an easy install as well. It's only about 4 feet tall. Mounting brackets are included. And better still, it's served by a single run of RG6. Comes with an AM/FM band splitter, sends each signal to its respective antenna port on the radio when the antenna cable terminates in your home. So to check that out or anything else that DX Engineering has, you need to go to dxengineering.com and go to dxengineering.com/hamnation, because DX Engineering ships faster than anybody else in the industry. Get your ground shipping order in by 10 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, and if it's in stock, it'll be on a truck headed your way that day. Proven products, expert advice, the most amazing people on the planet. These guys eat, sleep, and breathe amateur radio. You know you're talking to an expert at DX Engineering. They help you shrink the globe. Again, your catalog, request it or shop online 24/7, dxengineering.com/hamnation, dxengineering.com/hamnation. Good friends of our Little Dog and Pony show here on the Twit Network. Thank you very much, and we'll drink to that. Coffee. Let's see what's going on with smoke and solder, shall we?
Well, I guess that's me.
I guess that's you. I wasn't sure if you were live or Memorex.
Yeah, do we Newsline? That's what's I'm showing next. But
is it? I was showing go to you. Well, we can do whatever you want to do. Oh, there's Newsline. Well, yeah. I'd say, well, why? Okay, well, you know what? We won't want to get too far out of order. Why don't we just go ahead and go to Newsline then? From Amateur Radio Newsline Report, number 1987, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, December 2nd, 2015. As the FCC and hams around the country recuperate from the on-again, off-again outage that left a backlog of license applications and exam sessions, a newly revamped website makes its debut December 10th through a 4-hour transition that begins at 0100 UTC.
The changes were based on information gathered from user feedback over time, and the new website should provide better functionality and improved design and better searchability and navigability. The Commission's IT department had run the site in a beta test version earlier this year to collect input from visitors before the official launch. The new site is also optimized for use on tablets, smartphones, and other mobile devices and offers different browsing options. The FCC says, worry not, because while the current agency website will no longer be available after December 10th, files and web pages on transition.fcc.gov will still be accessible until they too are migrated to the new site. The Commission has already upgraded its Consumer Help Center and other interactive areas and says it has been working toward fine-tuning those areas as well. So, stay tuned. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Skeeter Nash, N5ASH in Topeka, Kansas.
When it comes to telling stories about radio that were once designed to engage and inspire kids, Mike Adams wrote the book. And the book is called The Radio Boys and Girls, Radio, Telegraph, Telephone, and Wireless Adventures for Juvenile Readers, 1890 to 1945. And Amateur Radio Newsline's Christian Kudnick, K0STH, spoke to Adams recently.
When Mike Adams set out to explore the genre of young adult literature from the 20th century, he was revisiting the same wireless and radio-themed fiction that inspired him to become a broadcaster and a tech hobbyist.
I started with a technical emphasis. I wanted to look at these stories to see if some of the technology described was actually accurate. I just looked at what these kids were doing and what they learned, and I realized that they were learning things that we talk about today. There was a lot of immigration and xenophobia discussion. There was gun violence. There was even a story where the boys had guns on campus. There was a lot of racial issues, and there was bullying, and there was economic inequality at the turn of the 20th century.
Radio Boys and Girls analyzes a collection of over 50 stories. As a professor, Adams examines the values of science, social science, and arts and humanities. You can learn more about this book at radioboysandgirls.org. I'm Christian Kudnick, K0STH for Amateur Radio Newsline.
There's a lot more to Christian's report, and you'll find it in this week's Amateur Radio Newsline. And finally this week, the Christmas season is in full swing, and we have a Christmas story that begins, as all good Christmas stories must, with the wish of a child.
If you take an 80-meter rag chew net, add a bit of holiday cheer, and Pete Thompson, KE5GGY, explains what comes next.
We it really goes back to a year where I had a young child at home. I was checked into one of the 3916 nets on Christmas Eve. A number of us with young kids were looking for a way that the kids could talk to Santa. So we kind of pieced together something for a couple of us that one night, and it worked really well. I could be a SantaNet relay for a station in Kansas City, and then he could facilitate the contact with Santa for me and my son. So we had kind of a very simple and primitive dress rehearsal, and I think it occurred to a number of us in that year, hey, this really is neat, and it's grown from there. I think we had 5 people at the most that participated the first year, and now in 2015 we're expecting between 250 and 300 kids to talk to Santa. Connecting kids to Santa Claus at Christmas time just makes their Christmas. We get emails every year from parents and grandparents that say, you know, this was the highlight of our holiday season. This brought our family together. That and the fact that we're using the magic radio to do it makes it very rewarding on another level. You know, we know that a number of these kids that have been on the SantaNet have gone on to get their ham radio tickets. It's a win-win. Kids get, the spirit of Christmas through connecting with Santa, through the magic of ham radio. It's a great way for us to end the year on the 3916 nets.
The 80-meter SantaNet meets every night on 3916 kilohertz at 7:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time. For the Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Again, there is so much more to this story than we could bring you here, so be sure to listen to the full edition of this week's Amateur Radio Newsline report. And that is all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for over 37 years and counting at www.arnewsline.org. With Skeeter Nash, N5ASH, Christian Kudnick, K0STH, Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, and Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5W. 73. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation. I was listening to the 3916 SantaNet the other night. They do a great job on that thing, but that is not the only SantaNet. There is also the Santa WatchNet, and you'll find that on Echolink. And why, I believe we have an announcement about that, don't we?
Well, boys and girls, it's my favorite time of the year again. It's time for the Santa WatchNet.
That's right. Santa will be making his rounds, and once again, for the 5th year in a row, the gang at the Dewdrop Inn will be watching the radar. Join the Santa WatchNet, starting at 1800 hours Eastern Time.
Oh, my little elf Dave, N3NTV. He's such a cute little guy. He'll be calling the net and keeping track of old Santa's location.
And just like last year, Santa has a radio in his sleigh, and he may chat with the kids again.
Oh, bring all the little ones and get them checked in. Third-party traffic, of course. Always on the nice list.
Once again, it's the Santa WatchNet. Christmas Eve, 1800 hours Eastern on the Dewdrop Inn Echolink conference server, node number 355800.
Merry Christmas from me, old Santa, and all my little elves at the Dewdrop Inn.
Oh, they do a great job, and the 3916 bunch does too. And getting kids involved in ham radio, that's the lifeblood of this hobby. That's what it's all about. And speaking of children, or well, childish adults, I guess it's time for me to go sit in the corner and eat my crayons and turn this over to an actual grown-up, and that would be George.
All right. I don't have a smoke and solder video this week. And, recently, some weeks we've been doing war tales from the transmitter site. Well, this week it's not a transmitter site, but I've got some slightly war tales from the studio. Speaking of radio stories, some of us have studios at more than one location, and our company just recently added another one. That's, I don't know, it's maybe 5 miles away, but it's too far apart for me to be in 2 places at once. Now, it's connected over IP. We use the internet, to get the audio back and forth. And that works fine. And also, there's a button that they can push at this new studio, and back at the main studios, it should fire a relay, which causes the machines there to play commercials or whatever they need to do. That hasn't been working, so I was enlisted to go figure out what was going on, and being I couldn't be 2 places at once, and there wasn't anybody there to push the button during the day when I wanted to check it out, I came up with a little solution here and threw it together last night, took it over there today, hooked it up, and it worked great. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because I really like these little Arduino microcontrollers. And if you haven't experimented with anything like this, you really need to. There's so much you can do with these. I wrote a little program in 5 minutes here and hooked a little read relay up to it. And I just took a pair of wires and hooked across that push button that I needed somebody to be pushing and plugged it in. Every 5 seconds, my little program would send a pulse on that relay, the same as somebody pushing the button, for about a half a second, and then it would release. And 5 seconds later, it would just sit there and loop and do the whole thing over and over. It only took about 5 minutes to put that together, and the code is very simple. So I'm going to suggest maybe you have Santa Claus bring you one of these for Christmas. And even if you are not a computer programmer, but you like tinkering with electronics, you know, this type of thing is where a lot of electronics is going today. The makers are using these, and they're perfect for a lot of projects that we want to do. In this case, well, I guess you'd call it automated test. I was able to go leave this one place and then go somewhere else and see that I got what I wanted. And one thing I've been doing with these lately, you know, they'll run off USB or off of, I think it's 5 to 12 volts. Anyway, what I decided to do is just take one of these USB batteries for charging your phone and just use that to power it with. You know, that battery there will run it for a really long time. So look into these Arduinos. The Arduino Uno is the most popular one, although there are a number of them out there. You can just do so many things with these that you ought to check it out. You know, if you like to experiment, get you one of these. They're not that expensive. Well, you know, last week I asked a question, as I am subject to do, almost every week. And that question was, what should Santa Claus bring you for Christmas this year? And I got a lot of good answers. The winning answer, though, came from Joe, AK400, who I believe is in the chat room right now. And Joe wrote a little email here. It says, Dear Santa, please send me a Harry's razor. You know that I've been good. I ate all my vegetables like a good boy should. My beard, it just keeps on growing. I think it grew an inch today. I need a Harry's razor. Make the stubble go away. A sexy little razor, you know, they make the best. Only Harry's can pass the test. You know, I watch Ham Nation. I've loved it from the start. In the chat room every now and then, I often play a part. And that's the end of his letter. Actually, it was a poem, and my phrasing was really bad on that. But, Joe, we drew your name, and it just happened that you had something clever there. So congratulations. We are going to send you this Harry shave set here with the face wash, the aftershave lotion, the little kit to carry everything around in, and the set itself, well, we showed it last week, and Don shows these often. It's got shaving cream, it's got a handle, it's got spare blades, and it's got a cover. So, Joe, you can try that out. Let us know what you think. How do you like Harry's? Oh, I had a few more answers, though. You know, I just had to, I had to let you know what more people wanted for Christmas. So now let me just read those real quick. A little Tar Heel 2, an FT857D, and a ATAS 120, a favorable PRB ruling, PRB1 ruling, a mobile Go box, any HF antenna the XYL won't call ugly, an MFJ 269C antenna analyzer. The antennalizer, that's a new thing we're working on here in the laboratory. And also a hex beam, but I got a few more here. 12 gold connectors, 11 feet of coax, 10 QSL cards, 9 DB over, 8 DX countries, 7 new technicians, 6 meters hopping, 5 power poles, grounding rods, HTs, 2 Arduinos, and an ICOM 7410. So
that's good.
You know, just about everybody wanted something different in that contest. So that was a lot of fun. Well, for next week, do I even have a question here? Oh, yeah. I've got something nice we're going to give away. Don, I know you have, you've shown this to us before. Oh, yeah. This is DX Engineering, DXE 8X DX 012. It's one of those fine patch cords.
Yeah, it's got that high zoot PL plug on the end of it, doesn't it?
It does. Silver plated, super nice. And that heat shrink on there is super thick, and it's got the adhesive on it. So a very, very good patch cord there. And
did I tell you the story? Did I tell you the story when I was at DX Engineering and I saw the lady who was in charge of assembling those things? She was putting the heat shrink tubing on there, and of course that's the adhesive heat shrink tubing, yeah. And she took it out of the little oven and she said, "Oh, this isn't all the way down. I'm going to have to reheat this." And I couldn't even tell that it wasn't touching the barrel all the way. It was like, I don't know, like a couple of hairs width. She put it back in there, she reheated it, and she's pulling that stuff down. She actually burned her fingers. Okay, she said, "That's hot." Anyway, she said, "That's perfect. That's much better. That didn't look right, and I didn't want it to go out." That's the kind of attention to detail, and you're going to love that piece of wire, whoever gets that. So I just wanted to share that with you. Those guys, everybody that I met over there when I was there, is just, the attention to detail is just off the charts, George. Just amazing.
I would agree, Don. Look at the end of these connectors here.
Yeah.
I don't know if the light will let you see them.
Oh, the flowing of the solder is just amazing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's not even solder, like it's just a rounded off end, but that's actually soldered on there. So
they're hand soldered on there. Yeah. Those are soldered by hand.
Yeah. So they use a special RG8X cable, and I want to ask a question about that cable. What makes RG8X better than just regular old RG58? You know, they're pretty close to the same size. If you think you know the answer to that, then send me an email to hamnationcontest@gmail.com, and we may draw your name next week. And the winner's going to get this DXE 8X DX 012 patch cord. So congratulations and good luck in the contest there. And I believe that is, I believe that's everything I had here tonight. So, Don, why don't you tell us about something?
I can do that. Everybody's got one of these. This is a ham radio show, but everyone's got one of these, and there are a lot of ham radio related things you can do with your phone. But of course, the main thing you do with your phone is, well, you pick it up and you call Mama and you tell Mama, "I'm on my way home from work. Mama, get the dinner going." That's one of the that's what I do anyway. It's but the only person that ever calls me is my funny honey. But this episode of Ham Nation is brought to you by Ting. What makes Ting different? Ting is Ting is a U.S. mobile phone service, and they're on 2 nationwide networks. They're on T-Mobile and Sprint, which means if you've got a GSM phone, Ting will work. If you've got a CDMA phone, Ting will work. And Ting doesn't believe in contracts. They don't believe in overage fees, and they don't believe in unlimited plans because you pay by the month. They offer business and personal plans that will save you time and money. Whether you're just an individual, a small family, or a business, there are plans that will fit your budget. And how you use your phone determines what you pay. You use less, you pay less. It's that simple. The average monthly bill with Ting is about $23 per device, and the annual savings for a business with 11 to 20 employees is $440 per device. See how quick that will add up. There are no contracts. You pay for only what you use each month. Also, no overage charges or penalties. And with Ting's business plan, you get an unlimited number of devices on one account. You can easily manage your account, allow you to set caps on both the device and at the account level, too. And if you're a family, and who isn't? Well, I guess you're a single guy and just nobody around. But I digress. Ting is great for families. Since the usage is pooled, the more usage between devices, the better the savings. And you got kids with phones, you can set caps to monitor their teenage cell phone usage, and that'll put you in the poorhouse quick. But not with Ting. And Ting's business valet team will even take care of transferring your numbers and your phones. If you're stuck on a contract, you'll get a credit if you're paying an early termination fee to come to Ting, a 25% credit of your ETF up to $75 per device just for switching to Ting. Ting.com/ETF has everything you need to know. You can also use your device checker at ting.com/BYOD to see if your device can make the move to Ting. And if it can't, well, that's not a big deal. Or you want to upgrade, that's an easy thing too, because Ting has plenty of options for you in the online shop. Once you have the device you want to use with Ting, they'll walk you through getting started, including bringing over your existing number or even getting a new one. Ting is easy. Ting will save you money, and you will better manage your cell usage with Ting. And because you're a Ham Nation viewer, you save $25 off select devices or mobile phone service. Just for getting started, you go to hamnation.ting.com, and that's how you do it, hamnation.ting.com, another great supporter of this program, allowing us to bring it to you every week, as we are prone to do. And Ting, thank you for being a part of Ham Nation. Let's see what's going on in Colorado now with Amanda and the chat room. Hello, Amanda.
Hello.
Look
How
at
are you
your
doing,
lights.
Don?
Look at your festive lights.
Yeah. I wanted to be a little bit celebratory. No Santa hat or anything yet, but hey, and I had a question for you, Don, and I know what it was. Okay, so you were mentioning that there was a gal at DX Engineering that put that cable in an oven. Tell me more about that. What oven? How does that work?
It's if you've ever been to your favorite pizza place and you've watched, they put a raw pizza at one end of the little conveyor belt, and it goes through an oven, and then it comes out a cooked pizza. It's essentially the same thing. It's a belt, and over the belt, a little bridge kind of over the belt, is a heating element. And it is timed to go through there just long enough to shrink that tubing down. And so that's what she did. She looked at it, and she goes, no, this isn't right. And so she put it back on the other end and ran it through, loosened up that heat shrink tubing, and she readjusted it and let it cool. And that's how she did it, I believe, or she might have taken her heat gun. But either way, that's how they do it. It's a belt. It's an actual belt, and they put the with the loose heat shrink on there, and they run it through under the little thing, and it heats it up. And when it comes out, it's all done.
That actually is pretty cool.
I couldn't take pictures. I couldn't take pictures back there because a lot of that is proprietary. No, okay. They wouldn't allow me. It wouldn't allow me. So this is all proprietary. So, but that's how they do it. It's pretty cool.
One question: did she throw it up in the air first before she put it back in the oven? Just wondering.
No, but she did that when I walked in, and I'm not exactly sure why.
She's trying to lasso you. Hey, thank you, Don. I know we're short on time. George, I do have a quick question for you. And I know I always give you the hard questions, but not tonight. The IC7600, is it necessary to use the screensaver on it? Should people be using that, or can they turn it off?
The IC7600, I would turn on the screensaver. On my IC7700, I run it. The problem that you could get into is, if the display sits there for a long time on one pattern, just like a computer, that's going to burn into the display on it. And you don't want that. So, yeah, I would use the screensaver. I might turn it up, where it stays on. Well, I think I've got mine set. Screensaver doesn't come on for 30 minutes. But, that's a good idea, because if you walk off and leave your radio on for half a day and you do that much, you could end up with a little burning.
I've got mine set for 10 minutes, and I like looking at it just because it looks cool. I've got mine set for the twist, because I'm a twisted kind of a guy.
Jeff.
Me too.
Jeff does the same thing. He loves it and has his call sign on there. He hijacked it, put his call sign on it. Really?
You can change that. You can change
I'm
that.
going to. Anyhow, yeah. And plus, you guys, you leave and you're like, oh, I got to go fix my antenna. And then you realize that you have to climb a tree, cut a wire, just don't do it. Put on your screensaver. Very good. Val, I've got kind of an interesting question for you. Now, this is kind of a people gripe about, but other people don't know why they do it. So if you're prepared, during contesting, even if you can't hear a DX station very good, and you want to give them an accurate port, everyone still gives them a 5 and 9. And I hear frustration about that. Why is it that everyone just gives each other a 5 and 9?
I think is probably what the thing is. I know when you work a lot of DX, not so rare, everybody actually gives true reports. But when it comes to contesting, the goal is to work as many as you can. And so everybody kind of gives a 5.9 in contests where a signal report is required. A lot of contests now don't require a signal report. So, but yeah, I'm sure it's just for ease of use.
Okay. So when you work a DX station, you still give a report just kind of because you're used to giving a report, but it's really not necessary to work a DX station. Is that correct?
Well, the call signs have to be exchanged. But I mean, most people give the signal report when they're working the DX. So, I mean, a lot of people will give true signal reports, but you're not. It's not a mandatory thing to give a signal report. You just have to make sure the contact is made, call sign's been exchanged, and acknowledged. But most people just give a 5.9. I know it's just the way it is, I guess.
I completely hear you. So what happens though is that when someone's trying to give someone a 4 and 5, you're a 4 and 5, and the DX station just can't pick it up. Should you just drop it and move on because you've already made the contact because you've exchanged call signs? Is that good advice, or should they make sure they get that signal report?
I mean, it's always best to try and get the signal report back and forth so you have it in your log, because you put it in your cards, you put it in your confirmation. So you're going to want to try and get a signal report back and forth. So you should stay with it until you do get till they acknowledge that they've got your signal report, and vice versa. So I would stick with it till you get till they got you.
Okay, that sounds good. And I know they do the same thing on nets. It is not a good contact until you get that signal report right. Mm-hmm. Rifle shots and speed limits and stuff like that. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I can't wait to talk about it later on. Anyhow, that's the questions we've got for tonight. So appreciate everyone. It's been a fun show. Don, are you closing it up tonight?
I've been known to close a few things up. I'll do whatever is needed of me, because that's just the kind of guy I am. I don't know. I don't know what that means. But we've had a good night tonight. We've had I tell you what, the DXpedition stuff was just absolutely fascinating to me. And I worked Navassa, and that was probably the first big DXpedition that I worked. Well, no, I worked Ray Novak in, was it Mozambique, I think. That was probably the first one a couple of years ago.
And that was a hard one to work because they were not very loud.
Right, Navassa is in the Caribbean. I mean, that was in my backyard down here in South Louisiana.
Or even FT5ZM was louder than Ray when they were on Mozambique. But yeah, that was a hard one to work, Ray. I worked him too, but that was one of the hardest ones I had to work.
Yeah. Anyway, fascinating report, Val. Thanks for bringing it to us. You do such a great job. George, good stuff with the Arduino. I want to get one of those. I've got a Raspberry Pi that I've got my little my D-Star access point DV Mega running through, but that's really all I ever use it for. So I need to get me another SD card, I guess, and start playing with that and learning how to program those things. They're not difficult. It's just it's time consuming, and I wish I had time to consume in that manner, but I don't, because I have a job and a life and a family and a career and everything else. And man, I can't wait to retire.
You don't have a real career. No, I'm kidding. Hey,
well,
I have.
You come to work with me one time.
There's about 3 of us in that club here.
Yeah. No, I don't have a real job, but I have a real career. Believe me. Juggling production for 8 radio stations. Oh my God! I think the only other person busier than me is probably George. Being engineer for a group, so
yeah.
You guys have the coolest jobs. I think that would be a lot of fun. Can I just shadow you guys for a day? That would be fun. I have 2 things. One other thing, someone that had asked, and I told him I would ask this on the show. Are any of you guys going to the Orlando Hamcation? Don, George, you're the closest. Would either one of you be going?
It's on my bucket list, but I haven't made it yet.
Okay.
No, I would like to go one year, but I never have been, and it's not going to be this year. And Don, get you the Arduino. It's really easy to learn the program. You can carve out a little time to do it, just 30 minutes an evening or something like that, and you'll get up and going pretty quick with it.
Yeah, I want to do that.
And
anyway.
we were talking about maybe going to the Orlando Ham Fest this year, so hopefully we'll get down there.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Definitely a nice break from the Illinois weather for sure.
As long as it doesn't interfere with Herd Island or anything. So
Right. Exactly. You got to be home to work those. Yeah. And one more thing, the nets, no 20-meter net tonight. I guess the bands are just not cooperating. So W7UDI, Steve's going to be helping host the 40-meter net tonight, as well as into KOJ. And that's Eric. And I don't know if Dale's going to be on there or not. So, and they're on 7278. That's what I got. Over to you, Don.
Sounds good. And of course, Echolink 355-800. That's the Dewdrop In, where on Christmas Eve you'll hear the Santa Watch net. And 14 Charlie is the D-Star after show net. And so I think that'll just about cover it. So let's go ahead and put the wraps on it. So for George and Val and Bob and Gordo and Amanda and everybody else who participates, and you folks out there watching and listening and in the chat room, thanks for being here. And we will see you next week right here on the actual Twit Network. Good night from Ham Nation.
Good night.